Dreaming of owning a home without drowning in debt? Good news! There are cities in the United States where affordable homeownership is still a reality. Imagine buying a house for a fraction of the price compared to big metros, while still enjoying job opportunities, culture, and quality of life. Curious where? Stick around as we explore the 7 cheapest cities in the United States where you can buy a home today. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, once the beating heart of America's auto industry, has had its fair share of ups and downs. But here's the good news. Detroit is one of the most affordable places in the United States to buy a home right now. If you're looking for a city with low home prices, a growing economy, and a community-driven revival, this might just be your dream destination. Let's talk numbers. The median home price in Detroit is shockingly low, hovering around $90,000 or even less in certain neighborhoods. That's far below the national average, making home ownership in Detroit not just possible but incredibly affordable. On top of that, homeowners in Detroit spend only about 17% of their income on housing costs, compared to the national average of 36%. Imagine the financial freedom of owning a home without drowning in mortgage payments. Now you might be wondering, why is it so cheap? Detroit's history plays a big role. Decades ago, the city faced economic decline leading to falling home prices. But that's changing. Revitalization efforts, new businesses, and urban renewal projects are bringing Detroit back to life. Areas like downtown, midtown, and Corktown are seeing a surge in development, attracting young professionals, artists, and entrepreneurs. And let's not forget Detroit's rich culture and history. From the Motown music legacy to its world-class museums and sports teams, this city has soul. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer, an investor, or just looking for a fresh start, Detroit offers an affordable way to own a piece of a city on the rise. So, would you take the leap and buy in Detroit? Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio, where affordability meets opportunity. If you're looking for a city where you can buy a home without emptying your bank account, Cleveland is calling your name. With low housing costs, a strong job market, and a thriving cultural scene, this Midwestern gem is a perfect spot for first-time buyers and savvy investors alike. Let's break it down. The median home price in Cleveland sits at around $120,000, which is less than half of the national average. On top of that, homeowners here spend only about 19.1% of their income on housing costs, compared to the national average of 36%. That means you'll have more money left over for living life, whether that's exploring the city, saving for the future, or indulging in Cleveland's famous food scene. Now, why is Cleveland so affordable? Well, much like Detroit, Cleveland was once an industrial powerhouse, but after economic downturns in the past, home prices stayed low. The good news? Cleveland is bouncing back in a big way. The city's tech and healthcare sectors are booming, with major employers like the Cleveland Clinic, Progressive Insurance, and Sherwin-Williams providing solid job opportunities. And let's not forget the lifestyle perks. Cleveland is home to world-class museums, a legendary rock and roll scene, and die-hard sports fans. Whether you're catching a Browns game, strolling through the Cleveland Museum of Art, which is free by the way, or enjoying the stunning shores of Lake Erie, there's always something to do. So if you're looking for a place where you can actually afford to buy a home and build a future, Cleveland might just be the perfect place for you. Would you make the move? Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love and apparently the city of affordable homeownership. If you've ever dreamed of owning a home in a major metropolitan area without breaking the bank, Philly might be your golden ticket. With its rich history, strong job market, and surprisingly low housing costs, this city offers an incredible balance of urban excitement and affordability. Let's talk home prices. The median home price in Philadelphia hovers around $230,000, which is far more affordable than cities like New York, Washington, D.C., or Boston. Even better, homeowners here spend just 19.9% of their income on housing costs, making it much easier to maintain a comfortable lifestyle. That means less financial stress and more room to enjoy life in one of America's most historic cities. Now, what makes Philadelphia such an attractive place to live? First, the job market is booming. The city is home to top universities, major healthcare institutions, and a growing tech scene. Companies like Comcast, Penn Medicine, and startups in the tech district are fueling economic growth, meaning plenty of career opportunities for new residents. But Philly isn't just about work. It's also about culture, food, and history. Whether you're grabbing a famous Philly cheesesteak, visiting the Liberty Bell, or exploring the bustling Reading Terminal Market, there's always something to do. Plus, Philadelphia's public transit system makes it easy to get around, so you don't need to rely on a car to explore the city. For anyone looking to own a home in a major East Coast city without paying sky-high prices, Philadelphia is one of the best bets out there. So, what do you think? Could Philly be your next home? St. Louis, Missouri. The gateway to the West and surprisingly one of the most affordable places to buy a home in America. If you're looking for big city amenities, a low cost of living and a housing market that won't drain your wallet, then St. Louis might be exactly what you need. Let's get into the numbers. The median home price in St. Louis sits around $185,000, which is far lower than the national average. Even better, homeowners here spend only about 20.7% of their income on housing costs, making it one of the most budget-friendly metros in the U.S. That means you can own a home, build wealth, and still have money left over for living life to the fullest. But affordability isn't the only reason people are flocking to St. Louis. The city boasts a strong job market, with major industries like healthcare, finance, and tech creating steady employment opportunities. Companies like Boeing, Emerson Electric, and Anheuser-Busch call St. Louis home, offering jobs across various fields. And let's talk about lifestyle, because St. Louis has plenty to offer beyond just cheap housing. The city is known for its vibrant art scene, rich history, and die-hard sports culture. Whether you're watching a Cardinals game at Busch Stadium, exploring the Missouri Botanical Garden, or visiting the world-famous Gateway Arch, you'll never run out of things to do. And here's a bonus. St. Louis has some of the best free attractions in the country, including the St. Louis Zoo and the Art Museum. If you're searching for affordable homeownership in a city that blends Midwest charm with urban excitement, St. Louis might just be calling your name. So, would you pack your bags and move to the Gateway City? Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Oklahoma City, where affordability meets opportunity. If you're looking for a place where you can buy a home without spending a fortune, enjoy a booming job market, and still get that small-town charm in a big city, then OKC might just be your perfect match. Let's talk numbers. The median home price in Oklahoma City is around $200,000, making it one of the most affordable housing markets in the United States. On top of that, homeowners here spend only about 23.2% of their income on housing costs, leaving plenty of room in the budget for savings, travel, or whatever else makes you happy. That's homeownership without the financial stress. But affordability is just one piece of the puzzle. OKC's economy is booming. The city is home to major industries like energy, aerospace, and healthcare, with top employers such as Devon Energy, Boeing, and the University of Oklahoma Health Sciences Center creating thousands of jobs. That means steady employment opportunities and a growing community. Now, what's life like in Oklahoma City? For starters, it's a city that blends modern amenities with a laid-back, friendly vibe. The cost of living is low, the food scene is incredible, hello, world-famous BBQ, and the city offers plenty of outdoor activities. Whether you're exploring the Oklahoma River, catching a Thunder basketball game, or strolling through the beautiful myriad botanical gardens, there's something for everyone. And here's a big bonus. Oklahoma City is one of the fastest-growing cities in the United States. More people are realizing the benefits of living here, but home prices are still low for now. So would you make the move before the secret gets out? Wichita, Kansas. Wichita, Kansas, the air capital of the world, offers an enticing blend of affordable housing, a robust job market, and a high quality of life. If you're seeking a city where homeownership is within reach and opportunities abound, Wichita deserves your attention. Affordable housing. As of December 2024, the median home price in Wichita was approximately $270,000, reflecting a slight decrease of 1.4% from the previous year. This affordability allows residents to allocate a smaller portion of their income to housing, freeing up resources for other pursuits. Thriving job market Wichita boasts a diverse economy with strengths in aviation, manufacturing, healthcare, and technology. The city is home to nearly 900 manufacturing firms, contributing to its ranking as the #1 skilled manufacturing workforce in the country. Major employers include Spirit Aerosystems, Textron Aviation, and Koch Industries, offering a range of career opportunities. Beyond its economic advantages, Wichita offers a high quality of life. The city features over 100 miles of bike paths, a burgeoning riverfront, and cultural attractions like the 7th largest zoo in the nation. Residents enjoy short commute times, a low cost of living, and a vibrant art scene. In summary, Wichita combines affordable housing with a dynamic job market and a rich quality of life, making it an attractive option for prospective homeowners. Could Wichita be the place where you find your next home? Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Wayne, Indiana, a city where affordability meets opportunity. If you're seeking a place to call home that offers reasonable housing costs, a robust job market, and a high quality of life, Fort Wayne deserves your attention. As of December 2024, the average home value in Fort Wayne was approximately $227,000, reflecting a 5.5% increase over the past year. This growth indicates a healthy market, yet prices remain accessible compared to national averages. Thriving economy. Fort Wayne boasts a diverse economy with strengths in manufacturing, healthcare, and finance. The manufacturing sector alone contributed $8.1 billion to the local GDP in 2017. Major employers include Parkview Health, General Motors, and Steel Dynamics, offering a range of career opportunities. Beyond its economic advantages, Fort Wayne offers a high quality of life. The city features over 100 miles of bike paths, a burgeoning riverfront, and cultural attractions like the 7th largest zoo in the nation. Residents enjoy short commute times, a low cost of living, and a vibrant art scene. In summary, Fort Wayne combines affordable housing with a dynamic job market and a rich quality of life, making it an attractive option for prospective homeowners. Could Fort Wayne be the place where you find your next home? So which of these cities caught your eye? Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or looking for a budget-friendly move, these cities prove that owning a home is still possible without breaking the bank. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to DwellScape, and turn on notifications for more real estate insights. Where would you move? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Ever looked at a building and thought, wait, how is that even standing? Some structures laugh in the face of gravity, bending the rules of architecture and engineering in ways that seem impossible. From tilted houses to floating museums, these buildings are more than just eye-catching. They're mind-blowing feats of design. Get ready to explore 7 of the most gravity-defying buildings that challenge everything we thought we knew about construction. Let's dive in! Museum of Tomorrow. Imagine a building that looks like it belongs in a sci-fi movie. Hovering over the water, stretching toward the sky like a futuristic spaceship ready for liftoff. That's the Museum of Tomorrow in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and it's unlike anything you've ever seen. Designed by Santiago Calatrava, this architectural wonder defies gravity with its massive, cantilevered roof, extending 75 meters over the plaza and 45 meters over the sea, giving it the illusion of floating. But here's where it gets even crazier. This isn't just a visual masterpiece, it's built for the future. The roof is covered in solar panels that move with the sun, like giant mechanical sunflowers, generating renewable energy to power the building. The museum even pulls water from the ocean, filters and reuses it for cooling, making it a self-sustaining eco-marvel. Inside, it's all about exploring the future of humanity, from AI and climate change to space exploration and bioengineering. Every exhibit is designed to make you question, where is humanity headed? A building that looks like it's defying gravity while actively shaping the future. Now, that's engineering magic. CCTV headquarters. Ever seen a skyscraper that looks like it's breaking the laws of physics? Meet the CCTV headquarters in Beijing, China, a gravity-defying masterpiece that laughs in the face of traditional architecture. Designed by the legendary Rem Koolhaas and his firm OMA, this building isn't just tall, it's bold, bizarre, and completely mind-bending. Instead of the typical towering rectangle, this skyscraper bends into itself, forming a continuous loop that connects 2 massive, leaning towers with a 75-meter horizontal overhang, suspended 500 feet above the ground. It looks as if it's frozen mid-collapse, yet it stands firm, supported by an intricate web of steel bracing, making it one of the most complex buildings ever constructed. But here's where it gets even wilder because of its unique shape. The building has no real front or back. Every angle gives you a different perception, making it seem like an optical illusion in the middle of Beijing's skyline. Some even call it the Big Pants because of its uncanny resemblance to a pair of trousers. Inside, It's home to China's largest television broadcaster, packed with cutting-edge studios, production facilities, and offices. But let's be honest, the real showstopper is the building itself. A true engineering marvel that challenges everything we thought we knew about skyscrapers. Heydar Aliyev Center. What if a building had no straight lines, no sharp corners, just pure flowing movement? That's exactly what the Heydar Aliyev Center in Baku, Azerbaijan feels like. A futuristic structure that seems to breathe and flow like a liquid wave. Designed by the legendary Zaha Hadid, this masterpiece breaks every rule of traditional architecture and looks like it's defying gravity itself. The entire building appears to rise from the ground in one continuous motion, curving and folding as if it's alive. It has no rigid framework, just an endless, undulating form that seamlessly blends the walls, ceilings, and floors into a single, fluid entity. The white, glossy surface reflects light differently at every hour, making the building change its appearance throughout the day. But here's the real magic. How does this thing even stand? Underneath its smooth, alien-like shell is a hidden network of steel and reinforced concrete, engineered with cutting-edge digital modeling techniques. The result? A structure that looks like it should collapse under its own weight, yet it stands tall, solid, and awe-inspiring. Inside, it's just as mesmerizing: exhibition halls, auditoriums, and galleries that feel like stepping into the future. This isn't just a building, it's a sculpture, an experience, a revolution in architecture. If gravity had a rival, this would be it. Needle Tower. What if I told you there's a tower that defies gravity, not with steel beams or concrete walls, but with invisible forces holding it together? Meet the Needle Tower, a 60-foot-tall optical illusion standing outside the Hirshhorn Museum in Washington, D.C. Unlike any traditional structure, this tower doesn't rely on solid walls or heavy columns. Instead, it floats in perfect balance using a mind-bending principle called tensegrity. So, what's tensegrity? Imagine a structure where every part is either in pure tension or pure compression, but they never touch. That's exactly what happens here. The tower is made up of thin steel rods and cables, where the cables pull inwards while the rods push outwards, creating a perfect force equilibrium. It's like a game of architectural Jenga, where if just one piece were removed, the whole thing would collapse. At first glance, it looks impossibly fragile, as if a strong gust of wind could topple it over. But the truth is, it's surprisingly strong. This delicate balancing act was engineered by Kenneth Snelson, a pioneer of tensegrity, proving that structures don't always need bulky materials to stand tall. This tower isn't just a sculpture, it's a physics lesson, an engineering marvel, and a gravity-defying work of art that leaves you staring in disbelief. Is it floating? Is it stable? Or is it some kind of architectural magic? Well, that's for you to decide. Museum of Rock. What if a building could capture the raw energy of rock music? Bold, rebellious, and completely unexpected. That's exactly what the Museum of Rock, or Ragnarok, in Roskilde, Denmark does. This isn't just a museum, it's a head-banging, gravity-defying architectural statement that looks like it's about to take off into the sky. Designed by MVRDV and Kobe, the museum's most mind-blowing feature is its dramatic 25-meter-long cantilever that juts out like a guitar solo, breaking every rule. Half of this massive golden structure hangs in mid-air, with no visible support underneath, making it look like it's frozen in time mid-stage dive. The entire facade is wrapped in gold-colored aluminum panels, giving it a loud, rebellious rock star-like presence. Step inside, and the experience gets even crazier. The museum's interior is filled with concert-like lighting, bold red staircases, and immersive soundscapes, making visitors feel like they're stepping into the heart of a live show. From legendary rock memorabilia to high-tech exhibits that let you create your own music, this place is not just about looking, it's about feeling the music. A building that floats, glows, and screams rock and roll. The Museum of Rock proves that architecture, like music, should be bold, electrifying, and always breaking the rules. Cube houses. What if I told you there's a neighborhood where houses balance on their corners like tumbling dice, except they never fall? Welcome to the cube houses in Rotterdam, Netherlands, one of the most mind-bending, gravity-defying architectural experiments ever built. Designed by Piet Blom, these bright yellow cubes are tilted at a 45-degree angle, making them look like they're precariously hanging in mid-air. Here's the wild part. People actually live inside them, but living in a tilted cube? That's no joke. The walls and windows lean at bizarre angles, making every room feel like a surreal optical illusion. Walking inside feels like stepping into an Escher painting, where nothing quite aligns with what your brain expects. Even everyday tasks like setting up furniture or simply walking through a doorway become a game of balance. So how do they stay up? The secret lies in their hexagonal pylons, which act like super strong stilts, anchoring the cubes to the ground while leaving enough space underneath for shops and walkways. This gives the entire complex a futuristic floating village vibe, as if the houses are suspended in motion, mid-spin. More than just a quirky experiment, these cube houses prove that architecture can be playful, innovative, and completely mind-boggling. It's not just a place to live, it's a gravity-defying everyday adventure. Balancing barn. What if your house looked like it was about to tip over the edge of a hill but never actually fell? That's exactly the kind of mind-bending illusion created by the balancing barn in Suffolk, England. At first glance, it seems impossibly unstable, with half of the house suspended in mid-air, stretching 15 meters beyond its foundation. But don't worry, it's not going anywhere. Designed by MVRDV, this 30-meter-long metal-clad barn isn't just a stunt, it's a masterpiece of architectural balance. The trick lies in its hidden engineering genius. The half of the house that rests on solid ground is built with heavier materials, while the overhanging portion is made lighter, keeping the whole structure perfectly stable. It's like a giant seesaw frozen in motion, daring gravity to make a move. Step inside, and the magic continues. Huge windows offer breathtaking countryside views, but the real thrill? The swing installed right underneath the cantilevered section. Because what's better than swinging beneath a house that looks like it could tip over? The balancing barn isn't just a home, it's a gravity-defying optical illusion, blending architecture, adventure, and engineering brilliance in one jaw-dropping package. A house that challenges physics and your sense of balance? That's a place worth living in, if you dare. Architecture isn't just about building, it's about pushing boundaries and defying limits. These gravity-defying structures prove that impossible is just another challenge for brilliant engineers and designers. Which one blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you love exploring mind-bending architecture, make sure to subscribe to DwellScape for more incredible content. See you in the next video. Imagine walking through the ruins of a once mighty castle. Its walls crumbling, its halls silent, yet the air feels thick with whispers of the past. Some of these forgotten fortresses hold secrets darker than time itself, tales of betrayal, bloodshed, and spirits that refuse to rest. From gateways to hell, to haunted prisons and vampire lairs, these castles aren't just abandoned, they're alive with history. So, are you ready to uncover the darkest secrets hidden within these lost legends? Let's begin. Houska Castle. Alright, imagine this. You're wandering deep into the forests of the Czech Republic, miles away from civilization, and suddenly, you stumble upon an eerie, ancient fortress. But here's the weird part. Houska Castle wasn't built to keep people out, it was built to keep something in. No kitchens, no water source, no real living quarters, just thick walls and a chapel strategically placed over a mysterious bottomless pit. Local legends say this pit was a gateway to hell itself. Terrified villagers claim to have seen winged creatures and half-human beasts crawling out at night, screeching in agony. And if that's not creepy enough, let's fast forward to World War II. The Nazis took over Houska Castle, using it for experiments that many believe were occult in nature. Some say they were trying to summon something beyond human comprehension. To this day, eerie noises echo through its abandoned halls, and visitors report shadowy figures lurking in the darkness. Would you dare to spend a night there? Or would you rather leave whatever's inside undisturbed? Chateau Gaillard. This one's straight out of Game of Thrones. Built by Richard the Lionheart in the late 12th century, Chateau Gaillard was supposed to be an impenetrable fortress, a masterpiece of medieval warfare. Richard even mocked his enemies, boasting that not even the devil himself could breach its walls. Yeah, that didn't age well. In 1204, the French, led by King Philip II, laid siege to the castle in a way that was brutal and downright terrifying. They trapped people in the lower town and starved them for months, so badly that desperate civilians resorted to cannibalism. Eventually, Philip's army found a weakness in the castle's defenses, sneaking in through a latrine chute. Yes, literally crawling through a medieval toilet to get inside. What followed was a bloody massacre. Today, the castle stands in ruins, a silent reminder that even the greatest fortresses can fall. But visitors say the echoes of suffering still linger in the stone walls. Some even claim to hear whispers on the wind, as if the ghosts of the siege still wander the ruins. DwellScape Castle. Imagine standing on the cliffs of the Isle of Skye, cold winds whipping against your face as you stare at the jagged ruins of DwellScape Castle, also known as the Fortress of Shadows. This castle wasn't just a stronghold, it was a warrior's proving ground soaked in blood and legend. According to ancient Celtic mythology, DwellScape was home to the legendary warrior queen, Scathach. She was a fierce battle instructor who trained the most powerful fighters of her time, including the Irish hero Cuchulainn, a warrior so powerful he could single-handedly defeat entire armies. But the training here wasn't just about swords and shields, it was a test of survival. Many warriors entered DwellScape, but only a few ever left. And it wasn't just the living who roamed these halls. Legends tell of restless spirits of fallen warriors, cursed to remain within the castle's walls. Locals report hearing the sound of phantom swords clashing at night, footsteps crunching on the stone floors, and eerie whispers carried by the sea breeze. Some say that if you stand at the ruins at midnight, you can hear the ghostly echoes of warriors still locked in an eternal battle. Would you be brave enough to walk the halls of the Fortress of Shadows, knowing that the warriors who trained here never truly left? Farciennes Castle. Some castles are forgotten, others like Farciennes Castle in Belgium refuse to stay buried. Built in the 14th century, this place has been torn down, rebuilt, abandoned, and repurposed more times than anyone can count. First, it was a medieval stronghold, then a noble estate, then a victim of the French Revolution, and later, bizarrely, a starch factory and a farm. But no matter what humans tried to do with it, something always seemed to drag it back into darkness. The castle is now in complete ruin, its walls crumbling, its windows like dark, soulless eyes. But what's truly unsettling are the stories surrounding it. People claim to have seen shadowy figures wandering the remains, heard whispers in the empty halls, and felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Some say it's cursed, others believe it's haunted by those who suffered and died within its walls. And then, there's the disappearance of the last known owner. One day he simply vanished, leaving behind a decaying castle and more questions than answers. Was it foul play, or something much darker? Maybe Farciennes Castle isn't abandoned after all. Maybe it's just waiting for its next victim. St. Briavels Castle. If walls could talk, St. Briavels Castle in England would scream. Originally built as a royal hunting lodge in the 12th century, it later became something far worse, a debtor's prison. And let me tell you, this was not the place to owe money. Prisoners were crammed into freezing, rat-infested cells with barely enough food to survive. Many never made it out. Some were even chained to the walls and left to rot, their desperate scratches still visible in the stone. But here's where it gets terrifying. Visitors say the spirits of those who died in agony still haunt the castle. People have reported feeling ice-cold hands gripping their shoulders, hearing tortured cries in the dead of night, and even seeing ghostly figures lurking in the corridors. The most chilling, the scratching ghost. Legend has it that one of the prisoners, driven mad by hunger and despair, spent his final days clawing at the walls. To this day, people claim to hear the sound of fingernails scraping against stone, even though the room is completely empty. Would you dare to spend a night inside a prison where even death couldn't set the inmates free? Craigmillar Castle. Some castles are haunted by ghosts. Craigmillar Castle is haunted by betrayal. Located just outside Edinburgh, this castle is most infamous for what happened in 1566, when a group of Scottish nobles gathered here to plan the murder of Lord Darnley, the husband of Mary, Queen of Scots. Darnley wasn't just disliked, he was a manipulative, power-hungry traitor, and the people closest to Mary wanted him gone. Thus, the Craigmillar Bond was signed, a secret agreement to kill him. A few months later, Darnley's house mysteriously exploded and his body was found strangled in the garden. Suspicious? Absolutely. But Craigmillar didn't just witness betrayal, it absorbed it. Visitors claim to feel a deep sense of unease inside the castle, as if they're being watched. Some have seen a sorrowful woman in a dark gown, believed to be Mary herself, forever trapped by the choices she made. Others have heard the whispers of plotting nobles still conspiring from beyond the grave. If walls could whisper secrets, Craigmillar Castle would tell you the deadliest one of all. Elmina Castle. Some castles tell stories of kings and queens. Elmina Castle in Ghana tells a story of suffering. Built in 1482 by the Portuguese, this castle wasn't just a stronghold, it was a prison of despair. It became one of the largest slave trading posts in West Africa, where thousands of men, women, and children were chained, tortured, and sold like cargo. Imagine standing in those dark, airless dungeons, where captives were packed so tightly they could barely breathe. The floor they stood on? Layers of human waste, sweat, and blood. And the horrors didn't end there. Women were dragged to the governor's quarters above, forced into unspeakable nightmares. Those who resisted were beaten, starved, or thrown into the ocean to drown. When the door of no return opened, it meant one thing: you were never coming back. Today the castle still stands as a reminder of this brutal past, but visitors report chilling experiences. Some say they hear cries echoing through the corridors, feel unseen hands brushing against their skin, or see shadowy figures moving in the dungeons. It's as if the souls of the enslaved still linger, whispering their pain into the wind. Would you step inside a place where history refuses to be forgotten? Château de la Motte Chandonnière. Deep in the French countryside, hidden by trees and ivy, lies Château de la Motte Chandonnière, a castle that simply refuses to die. Once a grand medieval fortress, it was later transformed into an extravagant chateau for French nobility. But tragedy struck in 1932 when a devastating fire engulfed the entire castle. Paintings, furniture, and priceless artifacts vanished in flames. Everything was reduced to ashes, except the stone walls. They stood, blackened but unbroken, like a skeleton of what once was. But here's the eerie part. The castle wasn't rebuilt, it wasn't demolished. Instead, nature took over. Trees sprouted in the grand halls, ivy wrapped around staircases, and sunlight streamed through broken windows, illuminating a place that looked more like a dream than reality. And yet, the castle feels alive. Visitors say the air inside is thick with whispers. Some claim to see phantom figures moving between the trees. Others feel an unsettling presence, as if the castle itself is watching. Maybe some places never truly die. Maybe Château de la Motte Chandonnière is just waiting for its next chapter. New Slains Castle. Perched on the edge of a towering cliff in Scotland, overlooking the violent waves of the North Sea, sits New Slains Castle, a place that looks like it was ripped straight from a Gothic horror novel. And in a way, it was. In 1895, author Bram Stoker visited this eerie, windswept ruin, and something about it lodged deep in his imagination. Soon after, he wrote Dracula, and the similarities between the Count's castle and New Slains are undeniable. The jagged cliffs, the endless ocean below, the howling wind that seems to whisper secrets. Yeah, sounds like the perfect lair for the world's most famous vampire. But here's where it gets unsettling. People claim the castle is haunted, not just by its own tragic history but by something darker. Shadows move where there should be none. Footsteps echo through empty halls. Some say they've heard a deep, raspy breath behind them, only to turn and find no one there. Is it just the power of suggestion? Or did Stoker sense something real lurking in the ruins? Whatever the truth, one thing is certain. New Slains Castle isn't just another abandoned fortress. It's a place where legends and nightmares are born. Would you dare to visit at night? Burj Al Babas. A fairy tale gone horribly wrong. Welcome to Burj Al Babas, Turkey, a place that was supposed to be a luxury paradise, but instead became one of the strangest ghost towns in the world. Picture this. Over 500 identical castles, each looking like something out of a Disney movie but completely empty. No people, no life. Just rows upon rows of abandoned mini-palaces stretching into the distance. So what happened? The developers planned to build an elite residential community, but in 2018 the entire project collapsed financially. Investors backed out, construction halted, and suddenly this dreamland turned into a haunting dystopia. And now, the castles are crumbling, the streets are silent, and an eerie fog often rolls in, making the whole place feel like a movie set from a forgotten horror film. Some say they've heard strange whispers carried by the wind, like the voices of people who were supposed to live there, but never did. Is Burj Al Babas a failed business venture? Or is it something more, a symbol of greed, ambition, and the ghosts of dreams that never came true? One thing's for sure, fairy tales don't always have happy endings. These castles may be forgotten, but their dark histories still linger, etched into their ruins like ghostly echoes of the past. From haunted halls to eerie legends, each one holds a mystery waiting to be explored. Which castle creeped you out the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you love uncovering hidden stories, subscribe to DwellScape for more fascinating journeys into the world's most mysterious places.